Hi, I'm Katie from Harmonious Renewal, and I am coming to you today from my garden. This is actually my vegetable garden. I spend about 6 hours out here trying to get things cleaned up. My other job is actually I do weeding and caretaking for other people, so I've been pretty busy lately and have been neglecting my own space a little bit. But it's okay because I had the day off and I got to spend most of it out here. This is my happy place. And as I was working, I was thinking a lot about ways some of my life interests are starting to converge and how I want to play that out in my business. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today. I've always been a nature girl. I've always been an outdoorsy person. In high school, I was president of the environmental club, which is a great resume builder. I actually haven't thought about that in a really long time. And in high school, in college, I got interested in hiking and backpacking and kayaking and just being outside and doing anything I could in nature. I've always been an avid gardener. I've always had a ton of houseplants, probably more than I really have space for. I just love everything about nature. And for me, the in was plants. And what's interesting is that once people get an in something in nature, either birds or plants or animals or anything, you can't stop there because then you get interested in the next thing because they're all connected. So my plants don't grow without the pollinators, and the pollinators aren't there without the plants, and the plants can't reproduce without the birds, and the birds are only there if the trees are healthy. There's just so many interconnections. And I've always had a real sense of this. It's just been part of what I was passionate about and what I knew. So probably about the time I got my first apartment, I really started thinking even more carefully about how my personal decisions interact with the world around me. So, I've always been a recycler and stuff like that from environmental club in high school. But I started really thinking more carefully about the things that I purchased and trying to buy things that are reusable and reduce waste and making sure my purchases were ethical, not harming other people, not harming the environment. Started to go more organic. It's this cascade. There's more that you can always learn, and there's more that you realize, there's more things you realize are connected with other parts of the world and the environment and all that stuff. And I think COVID's been interesting because some people who've never figured this out are starting to realize this. So a whole bunch of people can get sick and they'll close a factory on the other side of the world, and then we're feeling it months later here in the United States because the supply chain has gotten messed up. Well, it's the same way. If we buy something that comes from the other side of the world and they're producing it in a way that is harmful to their environment, that has repercussions for all of us. So we're all connected. There's no way that you can live in this world and not be connected with everything around you. And that happens on a microscopic level. So me and my garden here, if I were dumping pesticides on my vegetables, then that's what I would be eating, right? And that would be going into my body and harming me on some level. But it also happens on a macroscopic level. It happens when I purchase plastics that's been really unethically made, and then I use it once and throw it away. That has repercussions for other people around the world, and that eventually circles back to me. So that's a very physical process, but it's also energetic. A lot of people would say that energy that you put out in the world is coming back to you. So I think what I've always understood on a very visceral level, I'm finally realizing that I have to articulate for the people, because some people are not interested in the nature and they don't garden and they don't maybe easily see those connections. But what I want to start doing in my business is being really clear about the fact that your health is intimately tied to the world around you. There really is not a lot of barriers between them. On an energetic level, on a physical level, on a spiritual, mental level, emotional level, they are intertwined. And it's you and the people around you, it's you and the nature around you, it's you and the environment around you. There's just you're being sick or getting healthy affects all that, and their being sick or getting healthy affects you. It's a relationship that goes both ways. So if you've been feeling really lousy for a while, and I work with people who have, the place you start is with yourself, and you do your own work. But at some point you get to a time where you have to start engaging with that concept that the world is influencing you and you are influencing the world. And that might look like starting to change some of your eating habits so that you're eating better food or healthier food. So that affects you, but it also affects the workers and the environment where that food comes from or where it's being shipped from. And I mean, there's so many connections out there. But it's really important that we start understanding this, that there really is no separation when it comes to true health and wellness between you and the people and the environment around you on a macroscopic and a microscopic level. So that's something I want to start pursuing in my business, is starting to talk about that more. Talk about on an energetic and physical level, how do we understand those connections and work with those connections and work on healing those connections and what that does for us and everything else. So those are my musings from my garden. I hope some of that makes sense. In my mind, it's really obvious. I've been actually working on this for a while and trying to figure out how to approach this, because I'm talking about something that is not a question in my mind, but when I see things other people say and do and talk about, I realize it is a question for them. So I want to start tackling that. So hello from my garden, and I'll be back again. I'm going to try and do a once a week video and talk to you my musings about nature and intersectionality in terms of how we interact with that. And if you like the video or you don't, send me a message so I know. It's really great feedback. So hi, have a great day. Thank you for joining me here in my garden from Harmonious Renewal. Talk to you later.